Yes, sir, it's fine.
Good evening, everyone, and thank you all on Zoom as well as joining in person on calling Palm Springs Airport Commission meeting for Wednesday, June 21st, 2023 at 5:30 p.m. And at this time, I will request Commissioner Hendrick to lead us to the pledge of allegiance.
That pledge of allegiance to the flag of the United States of America. And to the republic.
At this time, I would like to see and if the agenda was posted for this meeting.
Yes, Chairman Dodd, the agenda was posted.
Thank you so much. At this time, I would like Christina to do the roll call, please, and Commissioner Duncan.
For our commissioners on Zoom, please unmute your mics at this time. Commissioners Adams, Breslin, present. Badillo, Burke,
Present.
Corcoran is excused. Dada,
Here.
Delgado, here. Feldman,
Here.
Hedrick,
Here.
Hughes,
Present.
Michaelis,
Here.
Miller is excused. Kane is excused. Hyde, here. Slama,
Here.
Suero, Wise,
Here.
Wiseman,
Present.
and Young.
Present.
Thank you. We have a quorum.
Thank you so much, Christina. At this time, I would like to open this meeting for public comment. It's limited to 3 minutes on any subject within the purview of the commission.
Chairman Dodd, we need to accept the agenda first, please.
At this time, I would like to see the commissioners accept the agenda as presented, or would you like to make any changes?
Motion to accept. Second.
So we have a motion and a second.
We'll be taking a roll call vote at this time. Responses are yes, no, or abstain, please. Adams,
Yes.
Breslin,
Yes.
Burke,
Yes.
Dada,
Yes.
Delgado, yes. Feldman,
Yes.
Hedrick,
Yes.
Hughes,
Yes.
Michaelis,
Yes.
Hyde,
Yes.
Slama,
Yes.
Wise,
Yes.
Wiseman,
Yes.
Young.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you, Christina. At this time, I would like to open this meeting for public comments. And it's limited to 3 minutes on any subject within the purview of the commission. Christina, do we have any speakers?
Yes, Chairman Dodd, we have Steve Rosenberg with us this evening. Mr. Rosenberg, you have 3 minutes to speak.
Thank you. I see a few familiar faces in the room. Is this the right place to be standing?
Sure, you're good.
For those of you who haven't met me in the past, I served on this commission a decade ago, so I'm pretty familiar with the airport and how things work around here. As I think we're all aware, this airport has undergone enormous growth in the last year. I've studied the passenger counts, and April and May, as is reflected in your packets, are new records. We see this constantly, month after month. The fact of the matter is that SkyWest has surpassed Alaska Airlines as our dominant carrier. This should come both as a surprise and no surprise, depending on how you view the airline, but we fought very hard to get Southwest in here, and they've given us a tremendous boost. If June is just equal to last year, for the fiscal year that's ending in June, we're gonna have 3.25 million passengers in this airport. I mean, it would be 3.25 million. The last master plan projection had 2 million for last year. So we're slightly ahead of that. Now, with obviously with the growth, we have some priorities, and I'd like to address what I see as some priorities and hope that the commission can see them the same way. First of all, on our 10-year plan, our master plan, passenger projections have to be at the absolute top of the list of what we get from that plan, because everything else flows from it. Obviously, we're woefully behind in terms of those projections. Baggage, both inbound and outbound. People can have the greatest flight, they can have the greatest experience, they walk into our terminal, and then if they have to wait forever for their luggage, or the other way around, if they're part of it, had a great vacation in Palm Springs, and now boom, they have up waiting for luggage to be checked in. So this is number 2 on the list. Right now, food concessions at the airport are very lacking. And I know that there's a lot of stuff that's underway, but I think that that has to be given a priority in terms of sooner rather than later, partial if not complete, and get that rolling. The last 2 items, parking. Obviously, this is going to be a critical element in our master plan. We hit overflow max last Thanksgiving and Christmas. That's never happened before. So it's an issue that is here. It's not a future issue. It's here today. The last thing, may surprise you, we have a gate problem. I was talking to a couple of the navigators before I came up here today. And there were planes out on the tarmac waiting for certain gates. Now, it's not to say there were no gates available. They were waiting for certain gates for whatever reasons. So it's something that is a very critical part of the master plan, and I think it deserves our attention as well. I thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Rosenberg. Any other comments?
We have no other scheduled public speakers for this evening. Do we have anyone in the room or on Zoom? If you're on Zoom, please raise your virtual hand at this time if you'd like to speak. Is there anyone else in the room who would like to speak in public comments this evening?
Seeing none, I'll close public comment, and at this time, I will entertain a motion to approve the commission meeting from February 15 as well as February 20.
Did anyone have any questions regarding the revote for the February 15th meeting?
Christina, just a clarifying question. If I was not in attendance, am I still able to vote to approve that agenda, provided I've read it?
You can vote or you can choose to abstain. If you reviewed the minutes, you're more than welcome to vote.
Thank you.
Okay. Do we have a motion? Oh, sorry, do you have a question?
Motion. Second. Roll call, please.
Adams,
Yes.
Breslin? Yes. Burke?
Abstain.
It just, sorry, let me think about this. So we should actually take 2 votes. Let's do one for the February 15th meeting and let's do one for the February 8th meeting.
Yes.
Okay. So Commissioner Burke, just to clarify, you are abstaining from the February 15th meeting, correct?
Correct. Only the 15th.
Thank you. Dada,
Yes.
Delgado? Abstain. Feldman?
Yes.
Hedrick?
Yes.
Hughes?
abstain,
Michaelis?
Yes.
Hi?
Yes.
Slama?
Yes.
Wise?
Abstain.
Wiseman?
Yes.
Young?
Abstain.
And now we will take a roll call vote for the February 28th meeting. Adams,
Yes.
Breslin,
Yes.
Burke,
Yes.
Dada,
Yes.
Delgado. Abstain. Feltman,
Yes.
Hedrick,
Yes.
Hughes,
abstain,
Michaelis,
Yes.
Hyde,
Yes.
Slama,
Yes.
Wise,
Abstain.
Wiseman,
Yes.
Young.
Abstain.
Thank you.
All right, at this time, we will move on to discussion and action item 7A. Palm Springs Inn Museum ground lease, and knowing this is one of our top attractions for our tourists in this destination, so who's gonna be doing the presentation?
You want me to start it off or? Okay. So we have a staff report, in your packet that basically, explains. Why we're here, but we've been working with the Air Museum for. A little while now to try to, get some extra land ironed out for them for some aircraft parking. Basically south of their, current facility. And, we're here basically to, recommend the award of a 5-year ground lease to the Palm Springs Air Museum for that additional aircraft parking. And pretty much all the details are in the staff report, so I'm not sure if you have any questions or if you want, Fred to talk about that at all, but we're available for any questions you may have.
Mr. Ball, would you like to say a few words, please?
Sure. Well, first of all, it's good to see all of you. I haven't been in one of these meetings since COVID, so it's nice to be here. What we're looking at is parking for inert aircraft, and others, these are not operating aircraft. We have a need, since we took on Walt Disney's G1 aircraft, to be able to move big wing aircraft around. We're talking about this aircraft that have large wingspans, 100 feet, 60 to 100 feet. And this parking will allow us to do that from a display standpoint. We can move them down and turn them in that area. We are in the process of collecting more historic aircraft for Palm Springs. So we just got, for example, I don't know if any of you know who Forrest Bird was with Bird Products, but his Cub, and there are some aircraft that are important to Palm Springs from the history standpoint that we'll continue to collect. And so that area will help us. The ground is presently fallow. There is no development down there. It's a 5-year lease. We're going to anticipate that the city under master planning will be able to do any development within the 5 years. That was a conversation with staff. And then we'll review it at the end of the 5 years and see where the city is in its not master plan. There will be no street access or public access with the exception of the airport. The Air Museum contiguous property. In other words, we'll basically take that fence down and just move the fence south. And there will be no ramp access to that area. So there is no ramp or traffic impacts to the airport operations or the city. As there are aircraft, there will also be no impact as far as trips out of the museum or anything like that. So basically, it's just a facility to allow us to be able to move our aircraft and park our display aircraft further south. And we are continuing to grow like the city is, and we have done, fairly well. I think the vision of the museum when it started to pop on in the city all those years ago is pretty much come to fruition, and now we're being very careful about what we take on. And we're actually, as I said, starting to focus more on the history of Palm Springs and some of the mid-century modern aspects of aircraft that were here in that time frame. Walt's aircraft is a one-of-one airplane, and Disney agreed with that it should be here, that it should not go back to Orlando. which is where it was originally stored. So it was a good get, this collection item, and we're gonna look for things like that. They're very unique. If we had anything to the collection at this point. I'm here if you have questions. Again, thank you, and thank you to the docents that have come out.
So what are we using that space for now?
Not currently using it.
Nothing, okay,
The ground earth's fallow, it's desert.
okay.
Any other questions from any of the commissioners, either present or on Zoom? Seeing none, I will entertain a motion to approve the ground lease as presented by the staff. And at this time, I would like to take the lead and make a motion to approve it. So we have a motion and a second. Any further discussion?
I'm sorry, who was the motion from?
Myself. Any questions on Zoom from any of the commissioners? Seeing none, Christina, roll call please.
Adams,
Approved.
wait, sorry, is there someone who? We have a commissioner with a question on Zoom?
I don't think they're muted.
Okay, we'll start the roll call vote. Adams,
Approved.
Breslin? Yes. 1 second, we have someone unmuted. Commissioner Hughes, do you have some background noise? Maybe.
Yes, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Someone's on speaker. Hold on.
Burke,
Yes.
Dada,
Yes.
Delgado? Yes. Feltman,
Yes.
Hedrick,
Yes.
Hughes,
Yes,
Michaelis,
Yes.
Hyde,
Yes.
Slamas,
Yes.
Wise,
Yes.
Wiseman,
Approved.
Young.
Yes.
We have a unanimous vote to approve.
So thank you, Fred. Now the dedicated volunteers that within the time put this attraction means a lot to us. Thanks.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
We move on to marketing update and Daniel Meyer.
Yes, hold on 1 second, let me share.
Oh, yeah. Sorry, I didn't see that.
I it's not like. They have to go away. Oh, there it goes. There we go. Okay, oh, well, whatever. Yes, kind of the way. All right, so if you guys saw the news, last week we had Alaska Airlines announced competitive service to JFK starting on December 24th. They'll be running through the holidays, Christmas, New Year's, ramp up to 5 days per week and then daily in our peak time, March and April, ending on April 22nd. JetBlue is currently scheduled to return their daily service in around October. Around Halloween of this year, we run that through May. They are making a slight change. Actually, they're going to start running their JetBlue service on their new A220 aircraft instead of the Airbus A321 aircraft. We'll also be getting looking at doing some mint service during some of our highest times of the year to New York, which will be nice to have. April and May are both new passenger records. I'm sounding like a broken record. This was like 15 in a row, I think now. I forget, I think I've lost count. Either way, all good for us. In your seats, sorry, I kind of get this thing's kind of in how there we go. In the way. So we are down this summer compared to summer. Oh, thank you. We are down this summer compared for June, July, August, and September compared to same time last year. I wouldn't totally worry about it though, because compared to 2019, we are still up over 30% each month compared to 2019. That was the previous record year until we had the record in 2022. A lot of the
reductions are due to pilot issues going on with all the airlines. Some airlines are getting half as many aircraft deliveries this year as they plan to get. It's not really a Palm Springs thing, it's more just things affecting the industry as a whole. But still, we still have enough seats scheduled throughout the summer to accommodate additional 20% passengers. All the passengers we carried last summer, plus an additional 20% throughout the rest of the summer too, so I'm not terribly concerned about it. Brand updates, we are set to begin phase 1 on July 6th. I'm very excited about that. Phase 1 is going to be, everything mainly online or websites, social media, or digital advertising. Uniforms will start to come with that. You'll see some of the existing logos in the terminal will come down and will be replaced with the new ones. Business cards, public introduction of the brand, and the new website. The new website will launch on July 6th as well. Can't wait for everybody to see that. We have some fun, pretty cool new features. And I'm excited to bring this into 2023 for us. Phases 2 and 3 will follow, which will be including additional items for community engagement, different events, getting the logos and stuff swapped on airport vehicles, all different airport forms, and all that kind of more mundane kind of things. But the public switchover will start officially on July 6th. Other initiatives are going on. So I know we have customer experience initiatives. I went to a conference a few months ago, or not, excuse me, a few weeks ago. Learned a lot of really cool, new, exciting things I'm trying to bring into the airport. So we're planning a meeting in July with the marketing committee, looking at July 12th. So we'll be presenting my kind of ideas to them and moving forward, getting some feedback and advice that we're going to move forward on. Advertising concessions, Fuse takes over on July 1. And they'll start doing fixture installations. We're going to, excuse me, I have a typo. Fixtures installations start on July 10th, not the 1st. July 1st, 2nd, and 3rd, they'll be switching out the media players. They can still have digital advertising, the cabling, getting their internet set up and all of that. And then July 10th, new digital screens will come in the baggage claim and various other aspects. We'll phase it in over, we phased in over 4 months' time. They kind of really hit the ground running with new and existing advertisers. I'm really excited about what they have to say. Some of the advertisers that have been with us for many, many years have actually reached out to me and told me how happy they were with their service. Some of them have been with us almost 10 years and never met a salesperson from the previous company at all. I got a call, just kind of emails. Fuse actually went out to them, sat down, talked to them, got to know what their initiatives, there we go. And they actually decided to increase their advertising spending with us simply because of the customer service that Fuse is providing. So I'm really excited to see what they have to do for us, especially in revenues. They've got some great deals they're working with new advertisers, existing advertisers wanting to increase. So I look forward to having a better report in July when contracts are signed. We have some more idea what the revenues are going to be for it, but I think it's definitely going to be a decent growth over our previous advertising. And that would be the end of it. Any questions? It's short.
These are cute, very delicious. They're on a. I love them. Yeah, help yourself.
Any questions?
I think we need to mute that user. Okay, it sounds like we're good now. Yeah, Daniel, I was just wondering, with the little dip in the passenger numbers this summer, or scheduled departing seats, do you see that as impacting at all the sort of future projections that might be going into the master plan? Or do you think over the next 5-10 years, is your read on the industry that Boeing and Airbus start getting their deliveries back on schedule, and do we see the growth that we've seen in the past come back?
Well, we had a lot of growth post-COVID, unlike a lot of communities, and a lot of airlines really ramped up here last summer. Some of them honestly probably put in a bit too much capacity, which kind of hurts everybody. One airline coming and growing, but when they all decide to do it, then you have a lot more competition and seats to fill. They pulled back a little bit right-sized. I think it's better for the market. Also, and there's one airline I know that's only getting about 50% of deliveries this year they wanted to get. A lot of other airlines have planes they want to fly, and they're just simply parked because of the pilot shortage. They can't get pilots trained quick enough to get them in. I know airlines, actually I was at a conference last week in Milwaukee for Jumpstarts and Air Service Development Conference, and some of the carriers, it was basically same story, just change out the airline name. They all kind of had the same struggle. So we're not the only, we are by far not the only airport in the nation that's seen a reduction in seats. So let's say in many airlines or some, they've actually had to cut profitable cities and profitable routes simply because they don't have the pilots to be able to crew the planes. They have planes literally sitting in the desert that they would kill to fly if they could right now. So that's kind of just some things beyond it. So if the pilot shortage issue gets, figured out, then I think it'll help. I don't think it's detrimental to us long term. I mean, the pilot shortage was coming before COVID even happened. It just kind of got kicked down the road a little bit. But overall, no, I'm not terribly concerned about it. I think we'll be okay.
Any other questions? Seeing none, Daniel, congratulations in securing the direct flight from JFK, and now you have another. Go, how about Washington DC?
Well, we work at Visit Greater Palm Springs. I can tell you, we are pitching DC. We're trying for it. No tickers yet, but it's definitely on our list.
And just to let you know, being on the board of Visit Greater Palm Springs, that for the upcoming fiscal year budget, we are allocating a significant amount of dollars.
Good.
Knowing that our revenues have increased and hoping that we can secure more additional flights from our key markets, Philadelphia, Washington, DC, and London.
Yes, and more year-round service, like you're on Chicago, you're on Atlanta, you're on New York.
All right, seeing none, we move on to our financial summary, Ms. Carpenter.
Good evening. Thank you, Chairman Dada. I'm just gonna do a real quick overview of the financials because last time I didn't really dive pretty deep into it. I'm just gonna let everybody know what our net balances are in our different funds. We have 4 different funds. This is for the period ending May 31st, 2023. Our customer facility charges has a net balance of 8 million. So you'll see that we actually exceeded our customer facility charge net budget. That's primarily due to the increase from the $10 per transaction to $9 per day up to 5 days for a total of $45 that we can get from our customer facility charges. The passenger facility and charge fund is at a net balance of about 4.8 million. We're a little shy of meeting what we budgeted. However, we're still higher than what we actually received for prior year. So that's mostly contributed to our in-plane passengers at the airport. For our airport operation and maintenance, we have a fantastic net balance of 28 million. So you can see that our revenues exceeded our expenditures by 28 million. Again, that's another really good win for the airport. One of the biggest things is that the non-operating revenue is about 32% of that total net balance there. So you'll see that in the next fiscal year, we're not going to have as much COVID funds or grant relief funds. We're going to be mostly self-sustaining next year with our non-aeronautical revenue and our airplane revenue. The next couple of pages after that show the detail of the airline revenues and the non-airline revenues, as well as our operating expenditures. So it just breaks it down a little bit more. And then our overall net balance is 1.5 million for our airport capital project funds. This is primarily due to us still needing to do some drawdowns for our FAA grants that we have. So we do anticipate to net at 0. And then if there's anything that's if there is a deficit, then we will transfer funds from our airport capital, our airport operation and maintenance fund to cover the airport capital. Our cash summary looks really healthy. Like we were doing with our fund 405, we had increased our CFC rates so that we could build this hefty cash reserves in this Fund 405 to be able to fund our future consolidated rental car facility. So we're getting a lot closer to what we're anticipating so that we can have enough money in there. So when we do intend to go to the market to potentially take out a bond to help finance the consolidated rental car facility, we have enough cash reserves to be able to take out a hefty amount to fund that project. Back when we originally did the design and did a lot of project planning, if I recall correctly, I'd have to go back and double check, but I want to say it was around $200 million for the consolidated rental car facility. But now that we're going through the master planning process, we're just gonna really kind of nail that down and really nail down where our potential sites could be for that facility. So things are kind of changing a little bit, but we still have that intent for the future for expanding that area for car rentals. As you can see, the other 4 funds are doing really well there with our cash reserves, especially our unrestricted fund 415 at 32 million. A lot of that is contributing to our rental cars. You'll see in the detail that there's about $12 million in rental car revenue that we received this year. I know I said last year that was a record-breaking number for us, but this year it's a record-breaking number for us. So that concludes my presentation. Does anybody have any questions?
I have a comment.
We have a question from Commissioner Young.
I just wanted, I was not present on the commission when this budget was enacted, but just curious, the $2 million that had been allocated as an operating expenditure for 405 that has not been spent. Just curious what that had been allocated for, please.
I'll explain that. So we were initially planning on starting the design planning for the consolidated rental car facility for this fiscal year. But since we jumped straight into the master plan, we decided that we're going to move that a couple of years down the line once we get that master plan ironed out a little bit more.
Thanks very much.
Commissioner Feldman, you have a question?
Yeah, I just have a comment, which is appreciate all the work, Victoria, but we just want to remind everybody that at the planning session with the consultants, we agreed that there was not a default assumption that we were building a consolidated rental car facility, that we asked them to look at all options and to give us options as to how we might move forward with the next generation of rental car provision to our visitors in Palm Springs. So we keep hearing this at the budget meetings. I wish we would find a more broad term for describing it, because it's not consistent with what we voted on and what we just, I don't know about voted on, but what we discussed with the consultants when they came to our meeting several months ago.
So I'm sorry, was that a question?
No, it was a statement.
Okay.
Any other
It's for the record.
Yes, it's on the record. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Feldman.
Any other questions in this room or Zoom from any of the commissioners on the financial side? I have a quick question, knowing how much excess cash flow we have, does the FAA allows the airport to invest, knowing the interest rate on treasuries, security deposits have gone up, or we are prohibited?
To invest in securities, does the FAA allow that? I'm not really sure. I'd have to look into that.
Yeah, that would be terrific, knowing that. I'm sorry. go ahead.
Well, you invest the money for the city, correct?
Yes, currently, yes.
Okay, and the city has state guidelines that they can invest in. And treasuries are one of the securities that the city is allowed to invest their money in. The state has this thing, a whole series of guidelines of how funds are to be invested and what type of funds have to be invested in a certain way.
Thank you.
Maybe we should look into it and check with our finance department. I believe it's Christopher, right?
Yes, we could do that. Absolutely.
Knowing that, 5.5%, the pretty significant amount.
Right. Agreed.
Thank you. Any other questions? Seeing none, we move on to Jeremy and confessions update.
Okay. Well, I'll try to give you just some kind of tidbits here of kind of what's going on. We're making a lot of progress behind the scenes, although it hasn't showed yet, but there's a lot going on. The design teams are busy. I'm in constant communication, just so you all know, with both Parodies and MRG, and we're typically communicating about one thing or another at least 2, 3, 4 times a week. So there's a lot of coordination going on. Everyone is super involved. And it's been good kind of building that partnership with both MRG and Parodies. We hold weekly construction coordination meetings, which are going well. Part of the design process essentially involves a few different review percentage milestones. If you're familiar, there's a 30%, a 60%, 100% milestones that we go through. We're about halfway through our 30% design milestones, and then we'll probably receive the rest of those 30% over the next few weeks. We're starting to see already the 60% design review submittals come in, and then we even just received some 100% design review submittals. So there's quite a few things that are coming through our desk right now that we're trying to turn around quickly from staff, and then be able to go over to the building department and planning. So there's a lot going on. We're currently working on obtaining the commissary kitchen demo permits. So that's essentially here in our old bistro, which is the future El Marisol restaurant. And so they're going to be moving on that here pretty soon as they receive their demo permits. There's some temporary cooling boxes that we've installed about a month ago or so. And that's basically to remove their product that's currently in the coolers where the restaurants are using their items, and moving those to the temporary cooling boxes, which then they'll essentially start the demo and outfit the commissary kitchen area. So electrical will start to get installed for those cooler boxes over the next few weeks, and we'll start to see some kind of somewhat movement on for Parodies. We have a new aviation planner that we've mentioned before, and she's been fantastic. She's helping us through kind of bridging the gap between city planning and the concessions. So she's trying to create some efficiencies through the city and try to help us speed up the process as quickly as we can kind of speed it. So that's been really helpful. Beginning in July, the 2 small Bono stores, the Desert News and Desert Mart are going to close. There's just not enough business during the summer, and Parodies would really like to focus most of their product as they kind of wind down operations to their main store, the Desert Marketplace, which is the future Las Palmas Oasis. And MRG will come in and kind of start to prepare some of the temporary space in those 2 small stores as they start to prepare for the rest of the closures that will be coming in September. The first construction wall that you'll kind of see is over the El Marisol. When that demo starts, they're going to put up a construction wall down here in the sterile area. So if you're traveling through, you'll start to see some of those walls go up. And MRG will be conducting some local vendor outreach in August, somewhere around the August timeframe, to try to bring more interested local vendors into the fold. So that's pretty much the update on the concessions. A lot of moving parts and pieces, but we're on top of it, and it's a good process so far.
Any questions?
Jeremy, just wondering when you'll send us another schedule update, just if there's any changes to the dates since last time, stuff like that.
We can do that.
Hey, Jeremy, do you know when the construction wall goes up in front of El Marisol? Are we planning to put anything on it that can let our visitors coming to the airport know, what's coming, just to build some anticipation?
Yes, we've been working with Daniel and Smart Design, the design group for Parodies, have been working on a design for the construction wall, and I believe MRG may look at putting some things on their construction walls as well.
and our new logo as well.
Wait, so new logos on everything. Yes.
Any other questions? Thank you, Jeremy, and 7E and 8. I'm gonna be doing the same report on behalf of Terry.
Pretty much, yeah, Terry was not able to make tonight's meeting, so I apologize for that. There is a report for the projects and airport capital improvement program update. I don't know if there's any questions that you have, but I'd be happy to try to answer the best I can.
Any questions from the commissioner on the Zoom? Wow. And I'm getting very, very fast. Looks like a firebird time.
Game 7, right?
Absolutely. Number 9, commissioners request and report. Yes.
So tonight is my last night and being on the commission this last 6 years, it's been a tremendous experience and an honor. There's been a lot of changes and a lot of changes for the better, right? And very impressed with Mr. Barrett. I think we really scored big time and my big fear is we're going to lose it to somebody else because he's really, really terrific. Also, it's great that we have Mr. Keating, Mr. Meyer, Ms. Carpenter, who does a terrific job and is very, very helpful to us on the finance committee. And of course, Ms. Brown, who is absolutely wonderful. I think the next several years are going to be exceptionally exciting as we move forward with the as you all move forward with the 2042 plan. I'm available to help in any way. And maybe I'll be back. I don't know. But in any event, it's been a great privilege. And it's also been a great privilege to know the board of commission members that I've served with. Thank you.
And again, Commissioner Hendrick, on behalf of the entire commission, we want to extend your time and services. You've been a great source of input, not only to the airport staff, but all the commission and the city, as well as Commissioner Breslin. Her term also expires June 30th, as well as Commissioner John Payne. Unfortunately, he couldn't be here with some death in the family, and also Paul Plama that is being represented to the Riverside County Supervisor's Office. So
You're kicking me out. No, I'll be still here, guys. I want to thank everyone for their time.
All right. That reported any council actions? None.
I think so, right?
No, the only one that we have coming up on the 29th is that's super important. It's the budget to get it approved.
Yeah, absolutely. You got a 2-year budget, right? I believe, right?
That's correct.
Any other items, Christina?
I just want to mention for future committee meetings, I did listed, we're gonna be having a marketing meeting on July 12th.
Thank you, seeing none, I will at this time entertain a motion to adjourn this meeting.
I'll second.
Thank you.
That was record time.
You get very hard time.
Yeah.
That's it. We can still make 3 hours.
Okay.